Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Another Thursday is upon us. The first Jank Pack Thursday of the month of February, though, granted, because of the treacherous rodent in Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania, we have 6 more weeks of winter. Though, granted, I don't think I've ever actually seen a winter that ended in March. So, not sure how much we can trust old Phil, the meteorologist, there. But that said, we turn our attention to the wheel. 69 entries live upon it. So let us spin and see what we got. And today, the year 1952, on February the 6th, following the death of her father, King George VI, Queen Elizabeth II becomes Queen of England, though because she was in Kenya at the time, was not officially coronated until the following June. Her reign of 70 years and 214 days is the second longest reign in the history of monarchy, second only to King Louis XIV of France with a 72-year, 110-day reign. And coming up, we have got some antique cars, courtesy of Ditka Collector. This is going to be a fun one because, honestly, who doesn't love cars? See you at the table in a second. And over at the table we are, and you guys will actually be proud of me. For once, I prepared. It's crazy. You'll see in a moment. But we're looking for the pack of antique cars from Ditka Collector. No, that's an elephant. That's a funny statement to make. No, that's not a car, that's an elephant. No. Is that it? Yes. Antique cars. And because I did it, look at that, we're actually joined. For once, I didn't have to stop and redo by Ditka Collector. The drawing from Mrs. Ditka Collector. We have Ditka Claus because you know what? There's never a bad time for Ditka Claus. Now, we turn our attention to antique cars. I've opened these before, but not in a while. And I miss the old Panini Knight. I like that guy. Relive the splendor of the past. Collect your favorite 100 antique cars, 1886 to 1950. Don't see a year, but we will see that when we get into it. If we get into it, I guess we'll have to go upside down. See? Upside down works. When in doubt, improvise, adapt, and overcome. Off to the side with ye. And now, there was 8 in there, so we'll go 4 and 4. Let's just sit back and enjoy the fact that a car like this existed. The Duesenberg S.J. Bowman and Schwartz Town Car 1935. Let's see if it says on the back what I'm thinking. It was an L8 420 cubic inch, 320 to 400 horsepower, which you needed to move something that size. 130 mile an hour non-applicable price or unknown price. Production 36. Note, the body of this 553rd Duesenberg J was designed by J. Herbert Newport and built by Bowman and Schwartz. And that was what I was going to bring up because with a lot of those cars back in the day, especially in the UK, they did it with most of their cars back in the 30s and I think America as well. You would purchase basically a rolling chassis and an engine, and then you would take it to what they would call essentially a coach builder, and they would build the shell of the car. So even if that one, if you could see, there was 36 of them made. If you could see the other 35 of them, guarantee you they would all not look the same. That's how really cool it was. And so everything was truly unique. This one might be as well. The Hispano-Suiza J12 68 BIS Sochik from 1937. That's a mouthful. A 690 cubic inch V12 with 220 horsepower. That's ridiculously small. 110 miles an hour, cost $40,000 in 1937. Production of 120. Note, the engine of this car was an evolution of the standard J12 9.4-liter engine. Yeah, because it went up to 11.3. Only 120 J12 cars were built between 1931 and 1938. I don't think I've ever heard of them except for this set. Now, this company I have heard of. Packard. The Packard Super 8 160 convertible coupe 1941. An L8, 5.8 liter, 160 horsepower. No idea what the max speed was. $1,937 in 1941. Nobody knows how many were made. The 160 was Packard's intermediate model in 1941. Think about that. Think about that land yacht there. That was the intermediate model. That's kind of crazy to think about. Was that number 4? Ooh. See, I don't know. I like the color scheme, but now that I'm past that, I'm kind of looking at the design. The Mercedes-Benz 170V Cabriolet from 1938. A 1.7-liter L4 with 38 horsepower, max speed 75 mile an hour. Nobody knows the price, but 75,000 of them were made. The 170 was launched in 1936. It was with this car that Mercedes-Benz re-entered the auto industry after the Second World War. Now that's interesting. I like little factoids like that because I did not know that. All right. Ooh, yeah. The Cadillac. The Cadillac 60 Special from 1939. That is textbook land. It looks like a tidal wave coming at you. A 5.7-liter V8 with 135 horsepower. No idea of the max speed. Cost $2,245 in 1939. Made 225 of them. The 60 Special, now bodied by Fleetwood, there's a name Cadillac would carry for a while, was offered with optional sunshine turret top, a sunroof. I love the fact that it was called a turret top. I don't think I've ever heard that term for it before. I'm going to have to look into that one. There we go. The Mercedes-Benz 500K Sports Roadster from 1935. A 5-liter L8 with 160 horsepower, hit 100 miles an hour, cost $5,000 in 1935. They made 354 of them. Note, the 500K was a powerful car in its days. It could reach 96.55 kilometers an hour in just 16.5 seconds, even though it weighed 1,360 kilos. All right, so what is that? 96.55. That's probably right around 60, I would say, if 161 is 100. Maybe. My conversion like that is completely off. But I think maybe that might be around 0 to 60. Ooh, the Packard 1104 Boat Tail Speedster from 1934. I love the term boat tail. A 6.3-liter L8 with 145 horsepower. No idea of the max speed or the price, but they made 764 of them. While American coach builders called this body style boat tail, French coach builders called it a skiff. Oh, interesting. Actually, now I'm wondering. I wonder what the English called it. And the final one, the MG K3 Magnet from 1933. A 1.1-liter L6 with 120 horsepower could hit 125 miles an hour. Unknown of the price, they made 34 of them. Note, the K3 1.1-liter had a compressor. This was one of MG's last factory-built racing cars. Interesting. So that's what I love. And automotive history is a very rich history. And I think one, I'd like to dig more into. I say that a lot when I'm doing things like this. And oh man, I really need to dig into the history of it. And I kind of do, because it is incredibly fascinating. Plus, the coach building aspect of cars, they weren't just rubber, they weren't just pressed out, coming down a line. Granted, efficiency would bring down prices and make the quality better. But at the same time, man, there's something to be said for those really old cars that were all custom because they were all sent to coach builders. I don't know. I like stuff like that. And now we will turn our attention. First off, thank you again to Dicka Collector. Link to him down below. Make sure to check him out. And speaking of checking out, we have our shout out. This one goes to National Parks Princess, who is at 1.53 K subscribers. More importantly, very, very, very close to the big 4,000 watch hour goal. So I know she has a playlist of watch hour stuff. I would definitely recommend checking her out because, one, the videos she makes, incredible. That national parks, you're seeing nature. A lot of nature and very, very beautiful nature. plus premieres, streams. She's always popping up in live streams and chats. Great community member and very close to that 4,000 hour watch goal. So link to her down below. Please, if you haven't watched any of it, just go watch them because it's beautiful, stunning nature photography. And more to the point, we can push a friend and valued community member up to a very massive goal. So National Parks Princess, link to her down below. Pardon me. And we reach over to the box. What are we hunting for? You know what? It's fitting. One Pittsburgh icon. We're going to look for another Pittsburgh icon. We're going back to the Lost Caverns of Ixalan for Magic. We're still hunting Jeff Goldblum or any of the celebrity cards. One day, we will get it. This I vow. I'm not saying when this day will be, but it will be one day. We're going to start off with our little token artifact creature, a gnome soldier, and that's another thing. Because I've mentioned it before, they will tell you like what the thing is. Here, we'll just go for our foil here, the Dinotomaton, which is a fun word to say if you can get it. But you see they have the C. The C in this case is for common. T in this one is for token creatures. Ooh, this is interesting. This creature's power and toughness are equal to the number of artifacts and or creatures you control. That could get out of hand very, very, very quickly. And the Dinotomaton, an artifact dinosaur gnome. It's awesome looking. That's what we will say. Here's our rare. It is Deep Root Pilgrimage. Yeah, the art is stunning. And also, don't forget, we're looking for not LCI, but we're looking for REX. We've got a two-sided one. We've got Saheeli's Lattice. And on the back, it turns into Mastercraft Raptor. Look at that fella. Oh, I like him. Yeah, I like him. I'm a fan of him. We've got the Soul Coil Viper. Hello, Sneck. Hello, Sneck friend. Stinging Cave Crawler. If I saw that in my house, I would burn my house to the ground. The Chupacabra Echo. It's a very swamp-heavy deck or pack, and I love it because I love the swamps. They tend to be on the darker, spoopier side. We've got Tectonic Hazard. This deals 1 damage to each opponent and each creature they control. That could be fun if you do it right. The Goblin Tomb Raider. Oh, it's a hat. I thought he was rocking some mean mutton chops, but swing and a miss. Child of the Volcano. Beautiful looking card. We've got the Frilled Cave Worm, a Salamander Worm. Oh, he is cool looking. Very, very cool looking. I love these cards. Quicksand Whirlpool. You know, just to pause on the quicksand thing, anybody who grew up watching like jungle movies and adventure movies back in the day, did anybody else think that quicksand was going to be a much bigger problem than it actually is? I think we all had that. If you watch one Tarzan movie, you know all about the perils of quicksand. And our final card, well, no, actually, no, we've got the art card, but we are skunked on the Goldblum or any of the really, the dinosaur sub-series. We're at a beautiful land, a hidden courtyard. And our art card, wow, that is stunning. That is a stunning temple. And that is Barracks of the Thousand by Manuel Castañón, I believe is how that would be pronounced. That is going to do it. Those are fun. I love me some Magic. It's just pure fun. I know there's a new set that came out. I just haven't been able to swing down to get it. Anyway, that is going to do it for this week's Jank Pack Thursday. Thank you all so much for joining. Thank you in the chat. Big shout out to Ditka Collector for the pack. Shout out to National Parks Princess. Let's get her to her 4,000 watch hour goal. And also, don't forget, 8 o'clock, we've got John Burgess, the Autograph Fisherman. Remember that show. And also make sure to check that out because John also is very close to his 3,000 hour watch goal. So let's make sure we can, let's see if we can't get both of them up to their goals this week. And it just takes a load off because after you hit that goal once, you never have to worry about it again, which is really good. So let's help out our friends because they're always there to help us out. So that's going to do it. Thank you to everybody in the chat. Thank you to everybody watching on the Rewind. And we will see you next time.